What's up, hockey think tankers? Welcome to another Friday Face-Off, sponsored by Titan Battle Gear. If you heard our recent conversation with the founder of Titan Battle Gear, you know why we're excited about what they're building. Titan is changing how players think about their base layer protection. It's Velcro-free, breathable, lightweight, and made with the highest rated cut-resistant fabric on the market. It's no wonder that they've recently become an official partner of USA Hockey to help advance player safety. This is definitely the gear that we want our athletes wearing, and Hockey Think Tank listeners can get 15% off at titanbattlegear.com/GMBM. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. All right. We got a really interesting Friday face-off for you guys here today. So a couple days ago, Columbus Blue Jackets are eliminated. Well, they had been eliminated a little bit previously from the playoffs. And Rick Bowness, who came in as their head coach halfway through the season, and they actually went on a run when he became the head coach. I can't remember how many games they won in a row, but it was something crazy. Got themselves in the playoffs when they were below 500. And then towards the end of the year, they just they faltered and ended up losing out on the playoffs. And so he gets up at the mic after the last game, and they went 2-8-1 to finish. When you're in a playoff race, that's kind of crazy to go 2-8-1 to finish the year. But he got up and he had some words to say. So we're going to play that for you right now, and then we have some commentary for it.
Rick, you've been a part of a lot of games and a lot of seasons. Have you ever been part of something that's as frustrating as this has been down the stretch?
No. And you know what? All you got to do is look at the stat sheet. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. Like, I don't know if I'm back, but if I'm back, I'm changing this culture. These guys, they don't care. Losing is not important enough to them. It doesn't bother them. Like, how can you go out and play like that? Should have done this about a month ago. But this is why we are where we are. This is why we're out of the playoffs. That kind of effort. Losing, you have to hate losing. I don't care if it's a meaningless game. I don't care. Show up and compete. 3 hits, 23 giveaways. What else you want to know?
You reached them for so long after you got here. How did it stop? Where did it stop?
Because it got tough. Because it got hard. Like we talked about after the Olympic break. It's going to get harder. So everything's good as long as it's going their way. And now it gets tough, we don't want to battle back. And that's what's happened over the last a couple of weeks. That's all that's happened. We're going to change that. If I'm back, I don't know if I'm back. Don and I will talk. We'll get to that. But man, oh man, some of those guys are so lucky the season's over and there's no practice tomorrow. Anyways, and there's no more games. What else you want to know?
I think even in the long history of this franchise, I don't think they've ever lost 6 games in a row to end a season at home.
No.
Is that worse?
It's terrible. Inexcusable. If they're not embarrassed by, not only tonight, by that, they're on the wrong team. They are. They got to be embarrassed with that. Anything else?
You sound like a guy that wants to be back. Do you want to be back? Did you scratch the itch? Where are you?
We scratched the itch. I'm going to talk to Don, as we said from there on, right? But and their players were told tonight, if I'm back, we're changing this freaking culture.
How about that, Vex?
Wow. That's intense. 3 hits? 3 hits? Of course you'd be pissed. How do you only have 3 hits in a hockey game? That's wild.
Yeah. So, okay. Have you ever had a coach in any level that you played at, where the media was important, that called out players, like their character like that?
I never had a coach do it. In the Austrian league, our owner did it and our coach defended the players.
Ooh.
And the coach wound up getting fired.
Oh, no way.
Not because of that. I mean, maybe that had a part to do with it. But a few weeks later, the coach got fired. Yeah. And all the boys loved the coach. All the boys respected the coach.
Were you guys doing well?
No, we were underperforming. I specifically was underperforming, and I think I was the highest paid guy on the team. It was my last year pro. I was going through my divorce. Not an excuse. Wasn't wasn't playing up to the numbers that I should have been putting up for being the highest paid guy on the team. And yeah, like the team was underperforming too. I fired the coach, and we wound up like we got a new coach in, and we kind of took off a bit, which is unfortunate because everybody really liked that first coach. And, to this day, I still feel bad because, I was underperforming, which, I was supposed to be a guy there who was supposed to put up a lot of goals. I was leading the league in goals the last time I was in it for most of the season. So yeah, that did happen once in my career.
Well, let me ask you this then. Would you rather have a coach that's liked or respected? Because I feel like
respected.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Respected. No doubt about it. No, I mean, like, think about Mike Hastings I had in Omaha. Like, not a lot of guys liked him when they were playing for him, but everybody respected him. He got buy-in and he taught details. And there were some guys who would have definitely been better with a different type of coach, no doubt about it. But as far as getting buy-in and getting a team to come together, I mean, it was a Herb Brooks mentality. I'm going to make everybody hate me so that you guys bond together. And it worked. Everybody hated him, but we did win a lot, and a lot of guys moved on because of the details that we made sure were in our game because of how much respect and fear that we had for him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I think about this thing with Bowness, and my head goes into two different ways, and I think they're both right. Number one, I love when people in the game wear their heart on their sleeves and they're not afraid to say how they feel. We
Yes.
honestly need more of that in our game.
So much more.
So much more. And you want them to be honest, right?
Yes.
Like if that's how he's feeling at the time, then say it, absolutely say it. And he did. And I do not want to fault him for that. On the other side of it though, like you never want to throw your players under the bus. That's another thing that can help you lose respect from the guys pretty quick. And there's been some players on Columbus. So the day that we're recording this podcast is the day after. So there might be things going on in the next week or so before this comes out, and things will remain to be seen. But players are kind of coming out being like, whoa, what? No, we don't have players on our team that quit. Like, no. But on the other hand, you lost 6 games at home in a row in a playoff race. You went 2-8 and won in your last 11 games in a playoff race to make the playoffs. So, where's the happy medium to that? So like, I love the fact that a coach in particular is wearing his heart on his sleeves, but in the media, calling guys out like that, and whether or not it was a good idea will remain to be seen with how Columbus comes out the next time. And what their culture is like next year. And maybe they get rid of a few guys that were like that. And the one thing that is hard is that by saying what he said, he kind of threw everybody under the bus, and there are
he didn't say
certain
any
guys,
names, right?
Names. You don't want to say names, but he, so I'll just say like Adam Fantilli, I had him in Michigan. He's the most competitive person I've ever met in my entire life. I don't know if I've ever met anybody outside of maybe Mike Schaefer who hated to lose as much as Adam Fantilli. And so I know for a fact he's not a guy that is okay with losing. But who knows look, Columbus has won one playoff series in their entire existence. Something's going on, and it might be an ownership thing. It might be it's like with something like it's not just one thing when you don't win that much.
And they've got good fan base, don't they, too?
Great fan base.
Like,
one of the best.
when I see games on TV, it looks like that building is rocking. And when they shoot the cannon off, like it's absolutely electric. So it's a great town. Like, so it's super interesting.
Fan base is super loyal,
Yeah.
And it also kind of goes to something like, I have coaches that I've worked with or know that will not even speak to the players after the game because they're emotional people and they don't want to say something off the cuff. And this was certainly this was an emotional response to probably 2 or 3 weeks of, not feeling like the team was playing up to standards as much as he was trying to do it. And so like, there's so many different facets. Like this is not a right or a wrong kind of thing to me. Like there's pros to what he did. And then there's also cons to what he did too. But dude, like at the end of the day, we need more people to say what they think in this game. And
yeah, we need more personality in interviews and stuff like that. There's no doubt in my mind. We've been saying that since we started this podcast 7 years ago.
Yeah.
The NHL needs more personality from its players on TV to have more people get to be invested in the players, which means they're invested in the league. And that's what we need for hockey to keep going.
Yeah. And one thing I will say just to end it, I know time is up right now, but this is where really knowing your team matters. Because if he's right and the locker room isn't right and there are a bunch of players in there, like he described, that didn't really care, then that could be a galvanizing type moment. Like I remember when John Cooper did that years ago where he called everybody out in the media and he was like, it's just not good enough. We don't, and I forget the exact quote, but he was very vocal in the media that it wasn't good enough, but that's a guy who has a gift for knowing his team and knowing the right thing to say at the right time, And so in this instance here, like if this is a team that had that in their culture and he steps up and says that, he's going to gain more respect from the players who feel the same way that he does, and we need a freaking shake up here. Let's go. And I'm glad this coach is saying that. Let's get these guys out. Let's bring some new guys in that care and let's go. On the other hand, if you have a team that's pretty tight, and you got a team that feels like the culture's right and they just had a crappy couple of weeks, whatever, then you're in a tough situation where now all of a sudden you've just pissed off the entire locker room against you. And so this is where, and again, I'm not an insider there, so I don't know exactly what's going on, but like, that's where knowing your team and what your team needs to hear can go a long way. So time will tell if that was the right decision to get that emotional outburst out. But I thought it'd be fun to talk about here today. And, it's the art, right? Coaching is very little science, very much art at the end of the day. And, it's a great conversation on that. So any final parting thoughts?
I love the emotion from it. I love the emotion from it. Right, wrong, agree, disagree. I like that we're getting people on TV with emotion.
Boom. All right, guys. Time's up. Have a great weekend. Share the show.